Hey everybody, welcome to the Art of Relationship Show. Hopefully everybody's doing okay this Wednesday. And I know, again, a huge thank you to our vets out there, first responders, for a happy Memorial Day weekend. And thank you so much for your service, everybody, okay? I definitely appreciate it, just like everybody else does. So many props go out to you again. I know it's past Memorial Day, but I want to throw out a huge round of applause and thanks for out there. And hopefully everybody's doing okay this week, okay? So, a subject, not safe for work, perhaps, right? Going to be talking about sex, about sex, which a lot of people, hopefully TikTok doesn't ban it. I am a fully licensed mental health professional. And this is to help people out there understand. And I know some subjects are taboo for a lot of people out there, okay? So that's where I want people to understand and hey, Fairlane, what's happening? Sanjay, what's happening? What's going on? Before I get into this and about what the meaning is of intimacy, about sex is for you out there, let me adjust a little bit. I want people, to understand, you know what, a lot of people, it's still a taboo topic out there, depending what culture you are, what area of the world you're in. But I'm sex positive, so I'm all about teaching about, the meaning behind it for people. I have my meaning of what it is to me. I want to know what sex is a meaning to you out there. And like everybody else, you can join in the live chat down below, people. And we're going to kick off the show right after the intro. So don't go anywhere, okay? There we are, and we're back, people. This is the Art of Relationship Show. Like I said right before the intro video, talking about sex, right? What is the meaning to you? And there might be certain meanings for your partner that you don't understand, and vice versa. But I want you to be able to talk about sex openly, honestly. And like I said, TikTok, I hope you don't ban me, and I hope everybody's doing okay. So I want people to kick in, like I said, share this episode on your timeline, on your page, and we'll get as many people involved as possible. Hey, Ehab, hey, what's going on? And looking at, what works for people. Hey, Zeus, what's going on? I said, hey, Zeus, right? So join in the live chat down below, and I'll take your questions, your comments, anything related to, again, dating, relationships, marriage, and yes, what we're talking about today is intimacy, and it does not have to, relate to the topic today. So it doesn't have to deal with the meaning of sex to you. It can be, healing after an affair, some tips I can offer, the dating realm, how I can help you find the love of your life as possible, okay? So I appreciate everybody tuning in. April, Dana, what's happening? And throw your questions out there, like I said, down below. And I want people to be able to look at, what is the meaning to you of sex, of intimacy, right? And I'm going to throw down where a lot of people, been helping couples, marriages, as a relationship and sex specialist for a while. It'll be 23 years in August, in a couple months, actually. So been doing this a long time. And I never stopped learning about the field. I never stopped learning about, helping couples. That's it's still a lifelong dream of mine, and that will never stop, okay? So I'm your host, Greg Dudzinski. Just to let you know, I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, like I said earlier, relationship and sex specialist for almost 23 years now. Man, time flies. And not only that, I have a lot of grief and a lot of trauma experience as well. So any questions I can help you with, throw them in the chat and I'll read them. I'll keep your name private, anonymous. unless you're okay. Give me permission to say your name over the air. Not only that, this does not replace the actual professional counseling that I do in my office where I'm at now, okay? Because HIPAA guidelines, I can't guarantee confidentiality in this setting, of course not. So, talking about sex, what is the meaning for you? Number one, are you able to even talk about it? Bring this up, and I have couples, and I have for many, many years, they have a hard time talking about intimacy and sex. And I ask them, the biggest, probably one of the largest complaints is frequency, right? One person wants sex all the time, the other one wants it hardly at all, whatever that means to them. And I ask them. So that's what I mean in getting at the meaning of what sex is for you. What does it represent? What are your values, your morals surrounding intimacy, right? And some people, it's a chore. I could care less about it. And other people love it and they want it 3-4 times a day, 7 days a week. And it's not a judgment. And it's getting rid of the bashing and understanding of what it is. And now the big thing is about compatibility, about sexual compatibility, right? Everybody looks at it's just frequency. No, it's also about the meaning you give it. It's the styles of sex you want. It is the frequency, right? The style, the meaning behind it, what it represents, the types. I said styles, but types of sex. Some people want missionary with the lights on all the time. That's how they represent it. Some people are more frequently, they're more freaky, if you will. Frequently? Well, maybe that is as well. But it's also about, they want to kink it up a little bit, right? They want to kick it up a notch. And one person's definition of kinky could be, we're going to have sex in the bedroom on the bed with the lights on. Ooh, kinky. And to somebody else, it's whips, chains, bondage, dominatrix, all those aspects. And again, it's not a right or wrong as long as it is consensual between the participating parties, right? So that is huge. That is the biggest thing. It has to be consent, okay? And consent has to be given. You have to be able to talk about it. And, hey, Jay, what's happening? Mickey, I appreciate everybody tuning in. So that's where I want people to be able to look at and talk about, what is your meaning of sex? For some people, it's just physical pleasure, right? It's just, I joke around, with people in my office. What is sex to you? Just getting a nut. And that, it could be a woman, male, just orgasming. That's all it is about physical pleasure. And to most people, it's not. Believe it or not, yeah, there are men, it's just physical pleasure. For women, that's all it is for them. And again, you have to be with somebody that's okay with that. It's not a right or wrong. So, of course, everybody talks about the physical pleasure. Hopefully, it's pleasurable and physically fulfilling for both parties involved, okay? That would be great. As a whole, is it going to be that way every time? Probably not. I'm a realist, right? It's great if it is, terrific, but it might not be for some couples. It might be pleasurable for one. The other one is like, it was okay, right? And nobody wants to hear that. But that's why I'm doing this show, to make it a little more comfortable for you to be able to talk about it and to find value with sex, what it means to you, and to feel safe enough to talk to your partner about it. And again, it's looking at what is good for you. Hey, and I talk to couples, hey, what's sex for you? What's sex for you? And we talked about, the physical pleasure, the physical fulfillment, which people go after, but it's a lot more than that for more people. And a lot of people might not have the words to put in place to talk about it, right? Not at all. So that's where I want people to look at. That's why I'm doing this episode, okay? To help you out there to find words and meanings to try to express to your partner. But I'm not about people lying, misleading, or manipulating anybody, their partner, whatever. I don't want people, oh yeah, it's a soulful connection for me, and you're lying, right? It's not. It's just physical for you, and you could care less about the other stuff. I'm not about people manipulating, lying to their partners. Not at all, okay? Hey, Jerry, what's happening? I appreciate you tuning in down there. If you are the Jerry I think you are, hopefully your critters are doing well down there. And I appreciate you tuning in, man, so I appreciate it. And so looking at the meaning behind sex and everything else, it's the physical, of course, pleasure, right? Is it pleasurable for both people? It can also be healing, believe it or not. A lot of people, sex can be healing from trauma. And that sounds counterproductive for a lot of people, right? But it's true. It can be healing. It can be a way of finding healing with self-worth, self-esteem, self-worth, where a lot of people don't look at it that way. They never look at sex, intimacy can be healing. It's a way of healing maybe emotionally, mentally. And also, we'll get into the healing aspect about pain. How many women out there are identify as, well, women biologically speaking, right? They might have menstrual cramps, right? They could have severe cramping, severe pain. Some people have migraine headaches or, severe headaches. Sex can also be healing for that because sex, right, if it's pleasurable, that can kick up endorphins, right? Body's natural painkillers. It can kick up dopamine levels. It can help with reducing of pain. Yes, it can be, pain-inducing, which I don't want to. I'm all about pleasure, right? But it can also reduce, menstrual cramping. It can, heal not heal, but it can take the pain away. Sex can do that, right? It kicks up endorphins. It, helps release those painkillers in the body's, the neurological aspect, chemicals in the brain that can trigger that up. And same thing with headaches, same thing with maybe stiff necks, pains, that type of thing. You can relax and, with orgasm and physical pleasure, it can help reduce pain, right? So sex, again, can be healing. And I did say it can be healing with trauma. It's also with when there's been a history of sexual abuse, sexual trauma, rape, that type of situation. And it's sort of unusual for a lot of people to say it can be healing when it's caused by sexual trauma. And I tell people, sex isn't the enemy. It's the monster. It's the person that did that to an individual. And it's hard to separate those type of aspects, but I'm being honest, okay? It's not easy, not at all. And that's where I want people to be able to look at, those type of elements and look at what is happening. And again, you know what? Join the chat down below. Throw your questions down there. Any comments, any questions you have, I'll do my best I can to answer them. And if you want to, check me out, my website, theartofrelationships.org. Check that out. Follow me. I'd appreciate it at LoveGuruGreg. Like I said, I'm a fully licensed professional counselor, relationship and sex specialist here in Detroit, Michigan. Woo, Diddy. Go Tigers, right? And go Lions, too. Pistons will wait for next year. So, no, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Not only, the healing aspects, and like I said, it sounds so counterintuitive from, abuse survivors, rape survivors, that type of situation, that it can be healing, but it can be. It takes work. It takes progress in learning to know yourself and being able to separate the physical pleasure from that versus it's the monster that did that to an individual, okay? And a lot of people, I get it. It's horrific. I've worked with a lot of, survivors over the years, a lot of women, and I'm flattered. Like I tell everybody, I'm a man, and I'm very flattered to work with women from abuse, rape, that type of situation, okay? It's horrific. But sex in itself, it can be healing. So, sex can be fun. It can be playful, right? It can be lively, right? Some people can have fun, can have a pillow fight with sex, and that's okay. Some people need it to be just loving, sensual all the time, okay? And, they don't ever look at it that it can be fun. It can be playful. You can have fun with it, right? I joke around with clients all the time. Yeah, how do you connect? Is it about, do you guys, first start foreplay with naked twister, You can have fun. You can joke around. Maybe, you get in a tickle battle, a little wrestling match. Playful, right? Not hopefully realistic or, not violently. So sex can be fun, and a lot of people have this mindset, or they're taught from an early age, it needs to be this way, that way, whatever, based on, and I'm going to roll my eyes, right, based on religious beliefs, based on culture, what your grandma taught you, what your mom, dad, uncle, whatever, aunt, friends taught you about sex and the meaning behind it. And here, now you are supposed to have the same belief, meaning, value system that your friends, family, whoever taught you, right? So that's why I look at those situations where that's not true. Who gets to decide the meaning behind it? You do, people. So now I'm giving you, hey, what's going on? I appreciate you tuning in, man. Mr. Gotti, huh? Woohoo! I appreciate you tuning in, man. Thanks like always. So I am about I want to give you permission to give yourself permission to be able to talk about it, to find the meaning behind sex and behind intimacy and the value behind it from you. So we talked about, the physical pleasure, that's a given, right? But not only, it can be healing. Like I talked about just now, it can be fun. It can be playful. You can have a pillow fight, tickle fight. You can, little tickle on the feet or whatever. So you look at those meanings of sex and intimacy. How do you want it? How do you want it better improved in your relationship, in your marriage or type of situation or dating life, right? We all know there's all types of enjoyment that people derive from intimacy and sex, from group activity, right? From, you get me? Swapping swingers, that type of situation. Yeah, I work with everybody. I don't judge. Again, going back to the most important thing is it's got to be consensual. It's not coercive. It's not manipulating, tripping over my tongue again. So, again, it's not a one size fits all. What's important is how do you want it to be for you and the meaning behind it. So let me hear some comments down below, okay? We got some interesting about the pillow fighting. Yeah, you can, like a playful kid, maybe, you get in a pillow fight, right? Joke around, it turns you both on. It can be playful, that type of situation. It can be teasing. Fun can be, teasing can be a form of fun for a lot of people as well. So that's where I want people to be able to look at those situations and understand what is sex to you? What is the meaning behind it? What is the definition of sex to you? And again, it's very individualistic, as it should be, right? Even with couples, I ask, what is your definition or ideation of a happy, healthy relationship? And it's not according to me, a book or whatever. I can tell you what it's not. It's not abusive. It's not controlling, it's not manipulative. That's a given, right? But outside of those things are, it's designed by everybody else, and so does sex. So a lot of people still have a hard time talking about it and sort of defining the meaning behind it, and they're trying to fit this certain acceptable, I hate air quotes, but I did it anyways, acceptable meaning that is okay for society. No, sex is a very private thing if you want it private, right? So looking at those, the benefits, how do you want it to be physically? What is it physically to you? I mentioned it could be healing. It can be fun. Not only the physical aspect, what about the cardio aspect? Depending how you do it, can be exercise, right? The old saying, right? Sex can be like running 5-10 miles, right? And for me, maybe it's running a block. I don't know. Being honest, okay? Being a smartass. But Yeah, it's like running a block. Oh. But you look at it can be exercise, right? And for a lot of people, both men and women, it is connecting, right? Now you're looking at connecting, yeah, physical, yeah, absolutely. But it's also connecting, and I like to, mind, body, heart, and soul. We talk about the physical, but connecting emotionally. What can it be? It can be words of expression to your loved one while you're having sex, while you're making sweet love. Hey, Steve, I appreciate you tuning in big time, okay? Elise, I appreciate you as well, and everybody else listening in. So if I don't mention your name, I'm not being rude. It's either I missed it, so I apologize. So I want to, thank you so much for joining in. Someone mentioned chat, how about hogging up the bed? That can be playful too, right? It's like you roll over, try to push them out of bed, and you push them out again, or whatever, right? Or farting underneath the covers. I don't know if that would turn people on and be fun for some people, but it might be. Who knows, right? So going back to the connecting aspects of sex and intimacy is about the emotional aspect, the mental aspect, and how do you connect? How do you even want that to be emotional during sex, right? Some people want verbal expressions. I love you. I love the way you taste. I love the way, you feel. I love touching you. I love being close to you. I love holding you. I love being inside you. I love you being inside me. Whatever, the emotional aspects. You're my love. You're my life. You're my world. You know what? I'm so glad I found you. So those are the situations that I want people to be able to look at. What does it mean to hit up and understand the meaning, the emotional, the mental aspect of sex to you, right? So it can be all these things, but a lot of people look at, with sex, intimacy, it's, only one thing, maybe two things, but it can be all these things, right? Of course, the physical, it can be healing, like I mentioned. It can be fun. It can be exercise. It's a way of connecting with your person. Not only that, it could be a way of connecting with yourself. Hey, Olivia, woohoo, appreciate you tuning in. It can be, the mental aspect, right? The emotional, mental, sort of intertwine a little bit, right? But it's sharing those things, and how do you want to connect emotionally? And that's where a lot of people, with the couples I work with, of course, one of them might feel like just a piece of meat. They feel like they're being used sexually, which is never good unless you're role playing, right? Unless you're into that. Again, not a judging. So those are situations where, hey, how do you want your partner to connect with you emotionally if that's important to you, right? Would you like them to say, I love you, to express they love you, to express they love touching you, being with you, holding you, making love with you? Some people want to be more fun, playful, more raunchy. You know what? They might say, man, I love it when you fuck me, right? And they might say all these aspects, right? And that's what I said at the beginning. It's not safe for work zone today anyway. So, some people want the dirty talk, and that's fun, exciting, exhilarating for them. They want their hair pulled. Well, not me. Right? I have no hair. So maybe they want their hair pulled. Maybe they want their ears pulled. Whatever it is, it can be fun. It can be exhilarating. And that's all part of, the physical mixed with the connecting and knowing what your partner likes, that type of stuff. And that's the mental aspect about that. Like I said, the mental, emotional sort of integrate with one another, right? They can. But the mental is knowing what your partner likes, the hair pulling, the dirty talk or more loving talk. The mental is also about what mood, the difference between just, ripping each other's clothes off, animalistic, the physical pleasure of it, mixing with more, are you in a loving mood? Are you more that type of situation, right? Are you, you want it more sensual, more slow, more loving, that way. So that's where I want people to understand I had a breakfast burrito this morning. It made me gassy and a little emotional. Okay, did the gas make you emotional, or being a smart ass? Or somebody is. But those type of situations, right? It's so sex and intimacy is all about those situations, okay? So that's where you look at, and what I'm talking about now, right, is the meaning behind sex for you. What is it? Are you able to be deep with it? Or some people, they have a hard time talking about it. They have a hard time connecting with their heart and soul about anything, about, being open, being vulnerable, about being expressive with anything in a relationship, let alone what I'm talking about today, about the meaning of sex to you out there and you. So that's where I want people to be more descriptive and understanding. And are you able to talk about these with your partner? Hey, let's sit down. I want to know what sex is to you. That's a great question. What do you mean? I want to know what it is physically to you. I want to know what it is emotionally, mentally. I want to know, hey, is it about connecting with you? And I talk about, of course, I work with couples, a lot of couples on a daily basis, and have for many, many, many years. And those are looking at those situations. Miss Sturgis, hey, what's happening? I appreciate you tuning in. So it's looking at, the meaning and understanding. Hey, I want to know what it is to you about the emotional, mental. Like I said at the beginning, it can be healing. It can help us feel good about ourselves. It can make us feel wanted. It can make us feel desired, craved, make us feel loved. So those are all the emotional components and mental with you. Yeah, it's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Peace and love, okay? So these are situations where I want people to understand all these meanings tied into sex that a lot of people don't even understand. They don't even realize, and maybe they don't even think about. So that's why I'm trying to help people expand their meaning, and not only expand their meaning of intimacy and sex, expanding their knowledge about it, and getting them to think differently and how they can enhance it and how they can add to their sexual life and with their partner, different ways of connecting, right? Mention the physically, the fun behind it, the emotional, the mental aspect, connecting, the heart and soul of it. And we talked about sex, part of healing aspect. And I talk about there's some women that want sex because it helps relieve the pain of menstrual cramps, headaches, right? Migraines even. And people with the migraine, how can I even be in the mood for intimacy, for sex, right? I get it. I understand that, okay? So, hey, thanks for sharing the live video. I appreciate it. And I'd love, people to join in the chat and tell me, like I said, it can be anonymous, absolutely, about what your meaning of sex is, or unless you're shy. I get it. Talk about your meaning behind sex and expanding that, okay? So going with the healing aspect, and the pain can be a pain reliever, like I mentioned previously. It can be a stress relief. How many people are stressed from work? And, it can be a stress reliever as well. And, the stress reliever, the mental stress, emotional stress, with all that. It can be just whatever. And I'm thinking of, Parenthood, I think it is, with Steve Martin. Give them props and credit, right? The scene, right? When really stressed, had an exam in college, I used to give him oral, right? And it'd be a stress reliever, right? And Steve Martin, right, his wife, I can't remember her name, but many, many years ago, right? Oh, man, I'm really stressed. So she starts, whatever, right, giving him oral while he's driving, and he crashes from it, right? And the officer, what happened? He looks at her, go ahead, tell him, dear. So it playful, fun, that type of situation. No, I don't want anyone to get in a car accident, get hurt, or driving, hurting somebody else, right? So those are the situations where I want people to be able to look at. It can be playful. It can be fun. It can be, you can joke around about sex too, even after. Oh my God, when we're doing it, I can't believe you farted, right? It's the human element to be more comfortable in your own skin when it comes to intimacy, right? And, the noises, the sounds, the feelings, some people might go to orgasm, reach pleasure, and they fart, right? It might be a normal, natural reaction, and you can laugh about it later, right? So, and some people are so serious about sex, it's got to be one way, it's only for love. And there's some people that still believe that sex is only for procreation. It's only to get pregnant. And again, I don't judge, I don't bash, but people have to be okay being with someone like that, right? And it's ironic where somebody they don't feel loved, they don't feel desired, they don't feel that they're attracted to their partner at all. But when they want to have a kid, all of a sudden they get hornier, they get more, and it's like, but it's only for to have a kid. That's what gets them excited. It's not their partner. It's not sex in general. Now, people have to be okay with that, and then people start feeling used. They start feeling taken for granted, not really desired, not really loved, not really appreciated. All those meanings behind sex that it can provide to a lot of people. And going back to, I was going to say earlier, is, sex for most men, me included, it's emotional. It's a way of feeling desired, feeling loved, feeling appreciated, feeling craved. It's great. Plus the physical pleasure. Knowing that someone, my lady, wants to please me, it is a huge, huge turn on. It feels great. So that's when I talked about earlier about the healing, about self-worth, self-esteem, those type of aspects. When somebody wants to share themselves sexually with you, it can be healing. It can be a great, great energy boost to you and your mind, body, heart, and soul. It can be soulful, those type of aspects. But you first got to be able to talk about it and talk about with your partner. So all those things I mentioned are a lot of those things a lot of men get from sex. But us men, we have to be open enough and comfortable enough in our own skin to talk to our partners about that, right? To talk to, I'm heterosexual, so talk to my lady about those meanings behind that, where a lot of men, they might feel all those things, but they don't express it to their ladies, or even, if it's same-sex partners, right? To give them permission to open up. And it's uncomfortable for a lot of people. I get that, because it opens us up vulnerability emotionally, but we can still command that respect, that it's not used against us, or, it's not thrown in our face. It doesn't make us weak. That's part of the human element, and it makes us human, okay? So, listen up and be able to express this and start having a conversation. Hey, hon. Hey, babe, what's sex to you? Sit down, talk about it. Hey, what do you get out of sex? Oh, I feel loved. I feel, like I said, and everybody assumes sex is emotional to all women, right? No. Sex to some women, it's just physical. That's all it is. It's just physical pleasure to them. And a lot of people look, oh, that's wrong. What's wrong with that? As long as you're open and honest and you're not misleading anybody. You get me? You're not lying. You're not manipulating. Like the old adage, right? Guys, oh, it's I love you, just trying to get sex. Don't do that. That's deceitful. It's childish. I'm going to be honest, right? It's manipulative. It's coercive. It's just wrong. So be open, be honest, but start having that conversation with your partner, right? And cover these elements, right? The physical, what's the meaning behind it with, the physical, the healing, the self-worth, self-esteem aspects, the fun sex can provide, exercise, right? Connecting emotionally, mentally. It could be stress relief. It could be pain relief. It could be enjoyable, right? Self-pleasure. I did an episode. Check that out on YouTube under at LoveGuruGreg. You can check out all my episodes on there, probably the easiest way. Instead of trying to go through all the feed, check it out on the Art of Relationships show on YouTube under at LoveGuruGreg. So you can check that out as well, okay? And my other episodes as well. Hey, Brandy, what's up? Appreciate you tuning in as well. So have that conversation, the physical, the mental, the emotional aspect, the connecting aspect of sex. What is it to your partner because you care, because you want to know? It's a way of getting more connected, more closer on an emotional level, and also physical. When you start talking about, a lot of people go after the physical pleasure, right? It might be goal-oriented sex. I talked about that a while ago too. Some people are just goal-oriented, not about the connection, not about enjoying the moment. They're trying to get to the orgasm, right? The ending, and that's it. And they're forgetting about everything in between. And actually, I'm talking about today, right? The emotional connection, the verbal connection, the verbal expression. I love you. I love the way you feel. I love the way you taste. I love the way, oh my God, you pull my hair, right? I love the way you do me. I love the way whatever. So it can be, do you want to talk dirty to your partner? Do you want them talking to you, but you feel like that's not them? And what if your partner actually wants to talk dirty to you and thinking that's not you, and you both are thinking the same, want the same, but you're never talking about it, right? And there's that fear that you're going to be judged, that you're going to be, sort of how you're going to be valued a certain way. Too bad. Own it, right? This is the way I am. This is what I want. And I want people to be proud of that. Now, when you talk about sexual compatibility, about these elements, about the pleasure, about the emotional connecting, the mental, the healing aspects of it, and the compatibility, a lot of people have issues. They jump right to frequency, right? But I look at what is the issue. Is it medical aspects, hormone aspects, which is tied in the medical aspects, blood pressure, medications can kill desire, can make it a lot more difficult for people to reach orgasm and, the full physical fulfillment of it. But it's also the emotional, mental of it. So it's about talking about it and trying to educate yourself. And unfortunately, some doctors will prescribe you whatever, say blood pressure medication, but they won't tell you the side effects. They won't tell you the possibility of it might cause difficulty in reaching erection for men, reaching orgasm in people. They don't talk about this stuff, but doctors need to. Doctors need, hey, just to let you know, this might happen, sexual side effects. They need to be more comfortable and open and honest about it. But hey, I don't need to worry about that with my patients because I'm only healing this aspect. But you're healing one aspect and it's causing issues in another. So that's why I want people to be open, be honest about talking about the value of sex to you, the meaning behind it, the mind, body, heart, and soul. And you'll start feeling more connected, hopefully, with your partner. But then, let's be real, you also got to talk about the compatibility aspects. And I'm honest, you have a lot of people in this field that have no clue. Yeah, they're mental health professionals, but they have no clue about couples counseling. They have no clue about, sex counseling, about those type of aspects, right? They assume, they judge, they tell people, oh, you need to be okay with it because that's what older people, struggle with. No, you don't. So you look at, menopause aspects. I did an episode on that as well, with the hormone changes, and Cleveland Clinic's done a lot of work, to help women going through menopause, in menopause, postmenopause, about bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. So talk to your OB about that, about the increase in desire, increase, the vaginal dryness, those type of situations that come along with it that people are afraid to talk about or need to be, I need to be okay with it and that's the end of sex life. It doesn't have to be, but you need to be able to open up and talk about it and connecting. And are you able to connect in other ways, okay? So I want you to give yourself permission to talk about it, to be open, to be more comfortable in your own skin about the meaning of all this stuff, okay? Remember, the physical pleasure, absolutely, right? The healing attributes, stress relief, pain reducing aspects of sex, that it can happen, where a lot of people, they don't know that it's not a blame. They just lack the knowledge. They haven't been taught. That's why I'm doing this episode, right? The fun aspects, the exercise elements of sex, maybe, right? Maybe stretching a certain way, and then you have, connected sex, great sex, and then, you're not used to bending over or reaching a certain way, and then you're sore for a long time, right? Connecting emotionally, mentally. So talk about it. What is the meaning of sex to you in all these areas, okay? So check me out, theartofrelationships.org. I do still have my courses, $30 off. I think they're $40, $47. That's check them out. Healing After an Affair. Yes, it is very, very possible. Reigniting Your Relationship, and also a premarital course. Check them out. And please, I'm so flattered, people watching, listening, taking your time. I'm very, very humbled, sincerely humbled by that, okay? Follow me at LoveGuruGreg on all social media platforms. Like I said, every episode of the Art of Relationships show be easily accessed at YouTube would be the easiest, at LoveGuruGreg. Just check that out, okay? And much love and peace to everybody out there. Take care. I have to prepare, get ready to see clients again, okay? Peace and love. Everybody enjoy yourself. Bye-bye.